Hello, class, and welcome back to more e-learning. Um, I want to go into more depth about a hypothesis. I want to say that this is where everybody struggled the most in terms of this packet. So remember, our hypotheses need to be written in if-then format, okay? The if part describes the experiment. The then part describes the result. Or if you want to think about it this way, the if part contains the independent variable and the then part contains the dependent variable. This is probably going to be the easiest way you can identify if it's a well-written or poorly written hypothesis. You only want to test one variable, so please keep that in mind as you read a hypothesis, and it has to be testable. So it makes a specific prediction and it uses words like increase/decrease. So let's look at these really quick. So first of all, when reading the directions, identify the following as a good or bad hypothesis. If the hypothesis is considered bad, then correct the hypothesis to make it a good one. So here, this says a temperature change will cause the radish seed germination to increase. This is poorly written because it's not written in if-then format. So to change it, you could say something like, if the temperature increases, then the radish seed germination will increase. So again, saying just the word change also isn't very specific, okay? I'm not saying if it's going to increase or decrease. I just said there will be a change, not specific. 2 and 3 were fine. 4, ladybugs are a good natural pesticide for treating aphid-infected plants. This is poorly written. Again, it's not an if-then format. So we could say if ladybugs are a natural pesticide, then we could use them for treating aphid-infected plants. Number 5, that one is also poorly written. Okay, it's not an if-then format. So we could say if I count the flower petals on 10 daisies, then they should all have the same number of flower petals. That could be a hypothesis. Number 6, I will change the temperature in my fish tank and see what it does to the respiration rate of the fish. It's poorly written. It's not an if-then format. And the word change is not specific enough. So I could say, if I increase the temperature in my fish tank, then the respiration rate of the fish will decrease or increase, something like that, something along those lines. And number 7 is also poorly written because it's not an if-then format. Okay? So what we could say, if the temperature decreases in the fall, then the number of ants will decrease in her house. Okay, moving on to this part. A lot of people did not follow directions here. Work through the following questions to practice identifying well and poorly written hypotheses. If the hypothesis is incorrect, identify and state what characteristic is incorrect or wrong and rewrite the hypothesis so that it has all of the required characteristics. So here I give you the problem. Over the last 2 years, there have been unusually high number of shark attacks along Florida coasts. People have come up with a number of hypotheses on how to reduce the number of shark attacks. All of these are poorly written. Here's a hint. So number 1, if we put a barrier 2 miles from shore, I think the number of shark attacks will decrease. Remember, don't use words like I think or in my opinion or I believe. You cannot test those things. Also, it's not written in if-then format. All you had to do was cross this out and put then there, and it would have been well written. Number 2, if the shark's prey population decreases and the number of people visiting the beach increases, then the number of shark attacks will change. 1, you're testing too many variables here. So you need to pick one or the other. Are you looking at the shark's prey population decreasing or the number of people visiting the beach increasing? Based on that, the word change is not very specific. Tell me if you think the shark attacks are going to increase or decrease. depending on which variable you pick up here. And then finally, if we limit surfing to a restricted area that is away from sharks and only near dolphin, sea lion, and fish populations, then the number of shark attacks will increase. Again, there's too much going on here, okay? We need to condense this. I honestly don't even think we need this part of the statement. If we just crossed out that part, then that would be a well-written hypothesis because there's too many variables going on. Now down here, again, people did not follow directions. Now practice writing your own hypothesis. Read the problems and questions below and write an original hypothesis for each one. Bobby noticed more soap scum in her shower during the summer. He wonders if the temperature is affecting how much soap scum is building in the shower. Okay, so all you needed to do here was take this statement and make it into a hypothesis. So we could say if the temperature outside increases, then the amount of soap scum in the shower will increase. Number 2, Danny noticed that her car was getting poor gas mileage. She wondered if having the windows down when she drives is causing her low gas mileage. So we could say if Danny increases the amount of time driving with her windows down, then her gas mileage will decrease. Again, if-then format. A lot of people just skipped this. I'm not sure why. What you needed to do was read this scenario, come up with a scientific question, and then write your hypothesis accordingly. For the scenario, Sandy heard that plants compete for space. She decided to test this idea. She bought a mixture of flower seeds and then some potting soil. Into each of 5 plastic cups, she put the same amount of soil. In the first cup, she planted 2 seeds. In the second cup, she planted 4 seeds. In the third cup, she planted 8 seeds. In the fourth cup, she planted 16 seeds. In the last cup, she planted 32 seeds. After 25 days, she determined which set of plants looked best. So, a lot of people in their question use the word best. Don't do that. Remember, best is more opinion-based. What we want to ask is a question where I'm testing a variable. So for me personally, I could say, which plants grew the tallest in 25 days? Or do plants compete for space? Could be another question that you could ask. You could say, do the amount of seeds in the cup affect plant growth? That could be another question. You had some possibilities here. I just wanted you to avoid using the word best. For your hypothesis, let's say I'm going the height route. I could say, if the number of seeds in the cup decrease, then the plant height will increase. So I just wanted to go back and make clarifications on this assignment because I feel like a lot of people struggled with this. So if you have any questions, please let me know. But please watch this video and make the corrections accordingly if you need to. Thank you.